archipelago of reefs and islands, a place dubbed the pelagic capital of Papua New Guinea, Kavieng sits like a proverbial jewel in the sea.
Well, we made it to Kavieng. Kavieng is in the northern part of Papua New Guinea. It's here that we'll get some fantastic wide-angle action, including great pelagics, but there's lots of smaller stuff as well.
The plan today also includes a dive on another wreck from World War II. Our first location was called the Deep Peak, and with the visibility in this area seldom below 30 metres, this was going to be a treat. At 39 metres down, the skeleton of a Mitsubishi biplane loomed. Lying upside down, this Japanese floatplane is an interesting legacy of the 3-year Japanese occupation of New Ireland during World War II. New Ireland is the anglicised name for Kavieng. Only recently discovered, the 2 cowl-mounted guns and the rear-mounted flexible guns of the biplane are still in position, but long since silenced. The white sandy bottom brightened the whole scene and made a dramatic contrast to the black coral growing on the wreck. The variety of life and the quality of the diving here even had Dorian, our dive master, enthusiastically planning the next expedition.
What I like about Kavieng is that there's a lot of big stuff when you're diving, but there's also a lot of small stuff. It's the diversity not only of dive sites but of marine life. I think we'll go to Albatross Channel tomorrow, and that's probably one of my favourites.
We made it to Albatross Passage. Now we're in the Bismarck Sea side of Kavieng.
Regarded by many as one of the world's top 10 dives, the water moves into this narrow passage and hits a wall, running across the entrance, setting up the ideal current to attract schooling pelagics. That is, sea life from the open ocean, including grey reef, white-tip and silver-tip sharks. I was in heaven. How you say, woohoo, underwater. The more you look, the more you see. You can't miss these big fellas cruising around. Then the liquid sky above me was filled with clouds of amazing sea life. A lush garden of ever-changing colours was wafting gently in the current. There's always something preying on something else down here.
That was awesome. There were sharks, mackerel, big old trevally, tuna, just about everything you could possibly want to see. Not to mention the little stuff, like the pygmy seahorses. Awesome dive. And then you get to hang in the current.
Another dramatic dive was the De Yang, a Taiwanese fishing vessel confiscated from poachers and purposefully sunk in the late 80s. It lies on its starboard side at 30 metres on Yucca Reef and is home to many.
It's Saturday morning here in Kavieng and we're at the local markets. We've come to have a look at some of the produce that they have. Notice how fresh the fish is. There's a lot of really interesting things at this market, things that I'm not quite used to what they are. So what are these white eggs here?
They're for those eggs.
Turtle eggs?
Yes.
They're already laid and they dig up the nest.
Yes.
So we've just done a little bit of wheeling and dealing for tonight's dinner, and what we have on the menu is mud crab. Now let me show you a couple of these babies. A monster crab. You can still see they're very fresh because they're still kicking, they're still very much alive, and they're not long out of the mud. Still have girl crabs or jennies, which in Australia would be legal, but here, well, they don't have rules and regulations like us. So for this grand total, 35 kina, $20. Can I buy half? Half for 1 kina? Now these are really sweet, yummy bananas. They have bigger bananas at this market, but they're not so sweet. They're actually cooking bananas. So what we want is the little bananas because they're the best. This is the fruit and veggie part of the markets. As you can see, there are lots of fruits and veggies. You can see they're not lacking in vitamins or minerals in Papua New Guinea. This stuff's really good.
Yet another feast organised. Next up, I get to hand feed some pretty slippery pets.